So, aloha and welcome everyone to the free Thursday evening introductory to the Tao Calligraphy field. My name is Annette Omuro, and I am so pleased and honored to introduce our presenter for the evening. Dr. Gina Musetti is a master teacher of the Tao Academy, but her profession really is she's a registered acupuncturist as well as a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. She's also the owner of the Life Centered Acupuncture Clinic in Honolulu. She has studied intensively for many years, and she has successfully practiced for over 20 years, specializing in um, fertilization, pregnancy, gynecology, and pain management. And I know that many of us have stories or experiences, in our lives that made us what we are today. So I have been inspired by Dr. Gina with her warm and compassionate heart. And so I know that she too has a story to share with us. So I'm very grateful that she's here today. So let us welcome Dr. Gina Musetti. Welcome, Gina. Let me, okay, pin you. So welcome. Are you able to hear?
Um,
Did you hear my introduction?
I'm having a hard time hearing you for some reason. I'm not too sure why. Can everybody hear me okay?
We can hear you perfectly. I'm hoping that the others that were on were able to hear me speak.
I
Maybe
hear you, Nestor and Ed.
Oh, thank you. Okay, good. I think, Gina, you couldn't hear me. Maybe you have your
Yeah,
buds, but we can hear you very well. So maybe
okay.
because I did
Yeah, I
mention,
don't know what's going on with my speaker.
oh,
Sorry.
no, but we can hear you. And I just mentioned that you have a story to share with us. What is,
Yes. Okay, wait, here's my,
all right. So,
there we go. Okay, I can hear you better now. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Gina Musetti, and as Annette mentioned, I'm an acupuncturist here in Hawaii, and also I am certified nationally as well as licensed in California. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for our Satori Family Wellness Evening. And yes, Annette asked me tonight to share a little part of my story and how it was that I came to become an acupuncturist and a healer. And so it's going to tie into our practice for this evening. I wanted to focus on greatest love for this evening and for healing our hearts. So in healing our hearts in Chinese medicine are considered the general of our entire body. And we have our physical heart and we also have a spiritual heart. And our spiritual heart contains with it the knowledge and experience of all of our lifetimes that we've had here on planet Earth and perhaps elsewhere. And in the Eastern understandings and philosophies, we understand that our lifetimes can reflect in this life from our past lifetimes. And we could have had very good karma that we created throughout our lifetimes. However, we could also have some negative karma that was created if we injured people physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. And so sometimes when we may have issues with our hearts, it's a great idea to do some practice for the heart, whether it's sadness, anxiety, depression, all these things can be helped with practicing focusing on the heart. So it happened when I was 12 years old. This is one of my first experiences that I had with sort of illness in my family. My father had a triple bypass, and while he was in the hospital, I felt like it was my responsibility that I needed to help heal him. And many children have these feelings and thoughts. And, you know, as adults, we don't really think that, a child feels like they have this responsibility because we don't really speak about it. We don't say, like, oh, my dad is sick and I have to help to heal him. But I went to the library and I went into the like health aisle and studied anatomy books and tried to figure out what is it that is happening. Why does he have to have this surgery? What is an open heart surgery? What are blockages in your arteries? What causes the blockages in your arteries? And so I found the medical texts not that helpful because they don't really, it's not that relatable when you're 12 years old, at least for me. So I continued down the aisle in the library and I was drawn by more Eastern philosophy types of books. And I started reading a book about Zen meditation, and it was actually written by a Western writer. His name is escaping me at the moment, but he was one of the first, I believe he was English. He was one of the first Western writers in our era to really come out and start talking about Buddhism and meditation and frequency and how different frequencies and megahertz can affect the health of the mind and the body, and that we can help to transform our physical body by doing these kind of more mental activities. And then I also read a book about biofeedback. And that book had a diagram in it for a little biofeedback machine. And it had the like schematics in it or the directions for how you could even build your own little biofeedback machine. And it talked about different meditations that you could do to create a biofeedback. So biofeedback basically is listening to, well, this is what I learned in this book, was listening to your heartbeat and seeing if you can use your thoughts to change your heart rhythm and rate. And I thought, wow, this is so amazing because my dad was an engineer. He was actually like a rocket scientist. And so he had a room in our house where he would do all his little engineering, physical engineering experiments at home. So he would build very, interesting little devices in this room in our house. Like every season, he would change our doorbell and he would put like a different song in the doorbell for like Christmas or New Year's or Valentine's Day, whatever it was, he was always changing the doorbell and things like that. And so I checked this book out of the library, and when my dad got home, I showed him this book. I can't remember the name of it now. But in this book, it said that even doing a meditation for 10 minutes a day, you could actually help to transform conditions of your heart and arteries. And this was in the 70s. So, and my dad really took to it. So I was really surprised. And he went to Radio Shack and he bought like a little transistor. And so it was a little transistor, and you would plug two cords into it. So one of the cords we bought like a little, it's like a little meter that you can put on your finger and it'll measure your heart rate. And then the other cord was for a headphone, so you could listen to your heart rate. So my dad and I started doing these meditations together, and we each had a little transistor and we would listen to our heart rate. So that was my first experience of learning that I could control my own heart rate with my thoughts through meditation. And then it just kind of evolved from there. Also, in this book about Zen Buddhism that I had read, is a very like famous saying where if you when you're ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's a famous quote. So I remember writing that down in my notebook, and I kept thinking, okay, I have to get ready to meet my teacher because I'm 12 years old. I'm a student, right? That's my main job. So I kept thinking, I have to prepare for my teacher. I have to prepare for my teacher. And I didn't know what that meant, but I just thought, for me at that time, it just meant that I had to be a good student so that I could prepare for my teacher, whatever that may be, so that when my teacher appears, I'll be ready. Or when I'm ready, my teacher will appear. And then when I went to college, I started studying Joseph Campbell. And Joseph Campbell is famous for saying, follow your bliss. And those two just clicked together for me like cogs in a wheel. And I thought, oh, that is how I will prepare to meet my teacher, is that I will follow my bliss, because I knew that my dad did not enjoy his job. He was literally designing missiles, and he had a very hard time going to work every morning. He was often very tired in the mornings. He would make an entire pot of coffee and pour it into his thermos and head out the door with his thermos every morning and start drinking his, coffee in the car even before he got to work. And I remember when I was about 16, my dad asked me if I wanted, no, I must have been, I think I was about, maybe 18. My dad asked me if I wanted to come to work in his office because they needed a receptionist. And I just knew how much my dad didn't like going to work. And his office was in like a high security type of building, just all concrete and surrounded by fences and barbed wire. And you had to be like inspected going in and coming out. And the thought of going into that building was so daunting to me. I was like, oh, thank you, Dad, so much. But you know what? I actually just got a job at the mall. And I went out the next day and I applied to like every single store, and I got a job that very day because I just couldn't fathom the thought of having to work in that environment. And I also had, thought about it all these years since he had his bypass, that one of the reasons that he was sick was probably because he didn't enjoy his job. he was good at it, but he didn't uh, enjoy it. And I remember he told me the story of when out after high school, because my dad had been born in Italy, and the Italian government wanted to, it was a requirement that you had to serve in the military. And so in order to avoid serving in the Italian military, my dad joined the Navy. And at that time, since he was 10 years old, my dad had been working at a bakery. And my dad really loved the bakery, and his father was a baker as well. And so when he went to join the Navy, he told them, I'm going to, I'm coming here, I'm volunteering, I want to be a baker. And they said, okay, that's great, Gino, but we're going to have you do this tests first. And they had him take all these mathematical exams, which he passed with flying colors. And so he's like, okay, but my job is that I'm a baker, and I really enjoy baking, and I want to just volunteer in the Navy and continue baking. And they said, okay, that's great, but we're gonna send you to school for engineering. And so that's how he became an engineer. And he was very good at it, and he made a good living at it. So he stayed with that all of his life. And then they told him that the bypass would last between maybe 10 to 12 years at that time. And he was only 47. So, but he was doing the meditations, and he also had a very good diet. We grew like a lot of his own vegetables, and we also had a lot of fruit trees. So we always had fresh fruit. And he was very conscientious not to, like, he never ate sugar. He wouldn't eat white flour. He even had like a mill. He would buy wheat fresh and mill it himself in order to make the bread and everything. And but when he was 62, the blockages reappeared, and he ended up passing away at 62, and he wasn't even retired yet. So he completely missed being able to retire. And yeah, so I think it's really important to take care of our hearts in more than just a physical way. I mean, I think that everything that he did with the meditation, and he also exercised quite a lot. He played softball, and he was always in the softball league. So he was, running a lot. We had a dog. We always had a dog. So he was always walking the dog a lot and playing with the dog. We would go to the field like almost every night after he got home from work, and we would play softball and play with the dog. So he was very physically active. So he took care of himself physically. And then I think that the meditations also helped him quite a lot. But they're only like physical meditations or energetic meditations. Like we have in Chinese medicine, we have acupuncture. So acupuncture helps the energy. But when you do practices like what we have through Master Sha, we're working with the energy of the soul, which is a whole other level. So it's a higher level of healing. And when my father passed away, I was already working in the clinic. I was already working as an acupuncturist. And I remember talking to my teacher about it. And, we talked about trying to help him with some other meditations. She did meditations with the Medicine Buddha and with Kuan Yin, but it was already too late because the arteries were already 90% occluded, and they said they couldn't do another surgery at that time. But he survived, a lot longer, because they said he would only, the surgery would only last until he was like 57 to 59, at the most, but he lived until he was 62. So I think it is because of the meditation and the, physical things that he did, but it was just lacking the soul energy. So that's why I'm so grateful to have Master Sha's practices. And also, shortly after my dad passed away, 2 years later, I myself was diagnosed with the same disease that my dad had. And so my teacher told me, well, you just need to do the meditation. So I started doing the meditation for the heart, which is similar to what we do with Master Sha, but without, the benefit of having downloads. That's another amazing benefit that we have of working with the Tao Wellness Center through Satori Family Wellness. So we have downloads you can receive from Master Sha, from Lori, from myself. And I think those also make a huge difference in our wellness. So I also was told that I would probably need to have surgery by the time I was like 39. And I was so scared to always have this test done again to check my arteries because I just didn't think that I was going to really live past 39. But I did do the meditations, the heart meditation that my teacher taught me. And then I waited 15 years to have the test done again. And when they did the test again, they said, why are you here? What are you doing here? Like, there's nothing wrong with your arteries. Your arteries are that of like somebody 12 to 15 years younger than you. And so I thought, okay, great, thank you. So it definitely is worth doing the practices for the heart. So I don't know, did you have any questions, Annette, or anybody?
Oh, no. Thank you for sharing your story. I mean, you inspire everyone. And I know, as you said, we need to have physical as well as spiritual because I know that you eat very healthy and you cook healthy food because I've been with you and I haven't been doing that, but I need to, but I'm very grateful that you could share your story with us this evening. So you can let me know when you're ready for your practice.
Oh,
Till I,
okay, great. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone. So let me just say hi, Amy, Glenda, Evelyn, Wendy, Mercedes, Claire. Amin, thank you so much for joining us. Someone whose phone just says iPhone, thank you for joining us. Marlene, Marie, Brittany, Saray, thank you for joining us. And maybe Lori is there at Satori Family Wellness. Thank you so much for joining us. And I was going to just introduce a little bit about what Master Sha talks about healing the spiritual heart. So we have the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field book, which has a lot of really great practices in it. Also, when I started practicing Dr. Sha's methods, I was using the Power of Soul book. And I didn't know who Master Sha was, but two of my friends told me about this same book within a couple of weeks. And there were so many coincidences that went into this. I had to pay attention. I just felt like, okay, thank you, God. Thank you for tapping me on the shoulder twice. You don't need to tap a third time. I will listen. I'll get this book. And so I asked my friends, like, they didn't know each other. Why did you tell me to get this book? And they both said the same thing. They said, well, since you moved to Hawaii, you haven't had a Qigong teacher, and this guy is a Qigong teacher. And I'm like, yeah, but he's not in Hawaii. And they're like, no, but it looks like a really good book. Neither of them had read the book. They just both found the book, and then they both called and told me about it, and they still didn't read the book. So anyway, I had gotten the book and I was reading the book. And then one day I came to a section where it said healing for your knee. And my knee had been bothering me for about 15 years, just slightly. I hadn't ever really done anything about it, but every time I got up out of a chair, out of a car, or whatever, my knee was kind of locked and I had to hobble around for a couple minutes to kind of get it going. And I thought, okay, I'll do this practice for my knee. And it was almost exactly the same practice that my teacher had taught me for my heart, but it was for your knee. So you visualize golden light shining into your knee, you tap on your knee, and you say to your knee, I love you, I love you, I love you. And that was it. And the book said do that for, 5 minutes, 5 times a day or something like that. So I did that. And then after, I don't know if it was like 2 months or something, all of a sudden one day I jumped up out of a chair and I realized, oh my gosh, my knee doesn't hurt. And that was in 2010, and my knee still has never bothered me again after 15 years. So I was convinced that this practice works. And then all of a sudden, Master Sha was in Hawaii in the hotel like 1 block away from my office. So I went to that, and that's where I met Annette and Lori and Chiemi of Satori Family Wellness. And I just thought, wow, if these amazing women are part of this group, I want to like hang out here and see what these girls are doing. And so then I started practicing Love, Peace, and Harmony. If you haven't heard Love, Peace, and Harmony, it's a beautiful song that came to Master Sha from God, basically. And it is a tremendously healing song. Like when I was growing up, I grew up in LA. I learned to drive in LA. I lived in LA until I was like 24, and I was a really aggressive LA driver. And when I came to Hawaii, it was really frustrating because everybody drives here like 10 miles below the speed limit. But at the same time, people are cutting you off, I don't know how that happens, but so I got that Love, Peace, and Harmony CD and I started playing it in my car. And before you know it, I'm just like the most chill driver you could ever imagine. I'm like driving Miss Daisy chill. And people would cut in front of me and I'd be like, oh, well, have a great day. I hope you get safely to your destination. And it's funny, I don't have Love, Peace, and Harmony CD in my car anymore because I don't have a CD player in my car. I don't think anybody does, but I do listen to the Da Bei Zhou on my phone in the car, which is the great compassion mantra that Master Sha gave us from beloved Guanyin, the Bodhisattva of compassion. And I still never get irritated in the car. And it took me 2 hours to get home today, but I'm just happy driver these days. So, okay, wanted to say what Master Sha has to say about the hearts in this book. So this is in chapter 7, and it's titled Apply the 6 Sacred Tao Power Techniques to Heal the Spiritual Body. And he talks about how we have our human body, we have DNA, we have RNA, we have tiny matter in our cells, we have space between our cells, we have space between our organs, and all of these cells and spaces and matter holds energy as well as matter, as well as they're part of our soul. So we want to learn how to heal all of these souls. So not just the arteries, but the DNA, the RNA, the tiniest matter in the cells, and the space between the cells and the space between the organs. So Master Sha writes, we can have all kinds of blockages. Like my dad had the arterial blockage, right? So that's a physical blockage, but it could have also come up from a spiritual blockage. Maybe it was an ancestral blockage. His father died of a massive coronary at age 57. And so Master Sha writes, our beloved soul is the warehouse of all the information and all the content of all the messages from our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies, relationships, finances, and more from all of our lifetimes. Negative information or messages in the soul, which are blockages from all lifetimes, are passed to the heart, mind, and body. And this can result in all kinds of blockages, challenges, and negativities in the heart, mind, and body. Therefore, the importance of healing the spiritual body cannot be explained enough by words. And he writes in bold, heal and transform the soul first, then the healing and transformation of every aspect of life will follow. Heal and transform the spiritual body first, then the healing and transformation of the mental, emotional, physical bodies will follow. So what we're going to do now is a practice of greatest love. So Annette, if you can bring up the greatest love calligraphy and then maybe just trace over it a few times with your cursor so people can learn to follow the, yeah. So we're going to go around the circle 3 times. And then we'll go to the first character, which is greatest, da, da, greatest. And then the second character is I, love. Da, I, greatest love. So in Master Sha's writing, he writes that greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages and purifies our heart and soul. So let us begin with our body power. Okay, so we're going to sit down straight and you can put one hand over your heart and then you're going to use your other hand to trace. So you want to try to have your 5 fingers together and then we're going to trace, as though you're holding a brush in your hand. So place one hand over your heart. Ancient wisdom teaches that the heart houses the mind and the soul. Okay, and then we're going to say hello. We're going to use the power of our soul. So you can either repeat after me silently or aloud. Dear soul, mind, and body of my spiritual body, I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. You have the power to heal and transform yourself. Do a good job. Thank you. And then make a request for whatever area or of your life or your body needs transformation. So if you have knee pain, say like, dear my knee, I love you. You have the power to heal yourself. Do a good job. Thank you. Dear my back or my jaw or headaches or whatever it is that you're working on, your fertility. Just make a request, say hello to that part of your body, and then we'll say hello to outer souls. So you can call in whatever it is that you believe in, dear God, dear Jesus, dear divine, Tao, source. So Tao is just a word for source that Lao Tzu came up with because, he was a very prominent philosopher. And the emperor at the time did not want to allow Lao Tzu to go basically into he wanted to just kind of retire from his government position and go to the mountains and, live a more aesthetic life. And so the emperor requested Lao Tzu to write down everything. And that's how we have the text, the Tao Te Ching. And he writes in the Tao Te Ching, I reluctantly give the name of Tao to the source because I don't know what to call it. So you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the universe. You can call it nature. You can call it whatever you feel is close to you in your heart. You could call in your Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, shamans, Sherfus, Nakahuna, whatever you believe in, Mother Earth, and just say, dear all our, outer souls, all the souls beyond our body that can help us, all beings of love, compassion, forgiveness, and light. We love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Please join us in our healing evening to help us collectively as a group to heal ourselves and one another by creating this field of positive energy. And also I have the Tao Chang source field here, so I'll turn that field on. Dear Tao Chang, source field of love, forgiveness, and harmony. I love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Please turn on to bring healing as appropriate to each person here and watching in the future for their requests. Please forgive us and our ancestors for all the mistakes that we may have made that could have caused any hurt or harm or injury to anyone in any lifetime. We are extremely sorry for all the mistakes that we and our ancestors have made. Please forgive us. Thank you. And we completely and unconditionally forgive those who have hurt us, those who have hurt us in a physical way, or those who've hurt us emotionally or mentally, or even led us, into any kind of negative spiritual path. We completely forgive you with all of our heart and soul. And let us all work together to create greatest love within all of our souls, our hearts, our minds, and our physical bodies. And we also are here to serve. So we're so grateful to be able to serve for one another. And so if you have any other people in your family or friends that also need healing at this time, you can call their souls to join us so that we can also serve them through our tracing of greatest love. So tracing the calligraphy is a healing tool. It's like acupuncture or like massage therapy or like having some healthy food, but it's on our soul level, right? Okay, so then we're going to use our mind power. We're going to visualize golden light shining in and around the heart and throughout the entire body. Okay, and then there's also breath power, but I'm gonna just include that in a second. And then we're going to chant greatest love as we trace. So we're going to inhale and visualize that part of your body that needs healing, just the golden light shining into your body. Or if you don't have anything that needs healing, it's also preventative. So imagine the light shining in and around your heart and your whole body. Feel a sense of love and honor and respect for yourself, your body, your heart, and your spirit. Inhale, and we'll begin tracing. And then we can sing greatest love. Greatest love. Inhale. Greatest love. Inhale. Greatest love. Inhale. Greatest love. And we'll say, greatest love heals my soul. 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 And then greatest love heals my heart. Greatest love heals my heart. Greatest love heals heals my heart. Greatest love heals my heart. Greatest love heals my heart. And greatest love heals my mind. Inhale. Greatest love heals my mind. Greatest love heals my mind. Greatest love heals my mind. Breathe. Greatest love. Smile to yourself. Heals my mind. And then let's do energy. Greatest love. Smile to your whole body. Heals my energy. Greatest love heals my energy. Greatest love heals my energy. Greatest love heals my energy. Okay, and then let's go to the song. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies my heart and soul. If you don't know the song, it's okay. Just relax and just visualize love light of the source, God's love light, whatever you believe in, shining into your heart and your whole body from every direction around you, 360 degrees. And imagine whatever is your most pressing thing that could be, bothering you at the moment, whether it's a relationship or your finances or pain in your body or anxiety or any emotional condition. Imagine whatever that is, just like melting away, just softening, becoming less and less and less severe and transforming into peace and clarity. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies my heart and soul, smiling into your heart, smiling into your soul, feeling a sense of love and gratitude for your whole being. Greatest love, unconditional love, melts all blockages, purifies our heart and soul. Imagine whatever is bothering you just melting away in the light of source love, God's love is healing you. The word of God is healing you. The word of God is love. Love is the frequency of light. Great as love, unconditional love melts all blockages, purifies our hearts and souls. How is a Chinese word spelled H-A-O, meaning good job, well done, get well, perfect. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Annette. So let's move on to the next part of our practice. And what I would like to do briefly, actually, if there is anyone who would like to share, oh, aloha Betty, aloha Ria. Thank you so much, and Akara for joining us. So if anyone would like to share, you can open your camera or you can just open your microphone or you can type in the chat. Was there anything in particular that you're working on with the tracing? Do you notice any difference now? Or do you have, what has been your experience with using the greatest love calligraphy for healing your soul, heart, mind, or body? Maybe I shocked everyone by asking at this moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another practice for our heart. So another practice that we think of using primarily for opening our third eye is also really great practice for our heart. So if you have like headaches or high blood pressure or insomnia, I want you to have your hands like this on your lap. So you're going to have your hands just kind of facing each other like this and put them on your lap. This will help your heart to relax. And we're going to do a little chant from Guan Yin, the Bodhisattva of Compassion. This song is a sequence of sounds. The sounds are Wong Mani Ba Mahong. And when you sing Wong Mani Ba Mahong, it creates a field of compassion in your heart. So if you want to, you could also visualize love in your heart, whatever that looks like to you. You could imagine Jesus in your heart, or just imagine God's love light in your heart, like a beautiful, like a little shining sun in your heart. And if you don't have any problems with your head, like if you have glaucoma or any kind of like pressure in your head, make sure to keep your hands in your lap like that. But otherwise, you can have your hands like this and like forming like a little lotus in front of your heart. And then just imagine again the light shining in and around your heart. And we'll say hello to Guan Yin. So, dear beloved Guan Yin, the Bodhisattva of compassion, we love you, honor you, and appreciate you. And dear the mantra of Wong Mani Ba Mahong, thank you for all the countless help you have given to people around the world for millennia. Please purify our hearts and souls more and more so that we can continue to do our work and to help others. Because the healthier we are ourselves and the healthier relationships we have, the more financial abundance we have, the more we're able to help our friends and family members. So continuing to expand our light with Wong Mani Ba Mahong. So let us begin. So if you don't know this song again, you can just listen and just close your eyes, just visualize the light shining into your heart and all around you. Wong Mani Ba Ma Ho, Wong mani wa ma ho. 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 How perfect. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Twyla, for joining us because you just made it possible for us to offer a demo. So if you would like to receive additional healing tonight, please type a number in the chat. And if between Lori and Annette, if you guys can come up with a number, and we're going to pull a number. And we're going to ask for divine God source to help Annette and Lori to choose a number and for
Yes, from
somebody
1
to
to 88.
from 1 to 88.
Yes,
This
Kuan
is
Yin,
very
the
special
Kuan Yin and
number.
the 87
All
Buddhas.
the 87 Buddhas and Guan
Okay,
Yin.
so they'll get guidance, and I will ask Kevin to guide me to pull
Yeah.
it.
Because I asked earlier today, how many people do I need to have on the line to offer a
Yes.
demo? And they got 18. And I was just looking 17, 17, 17, 17. Then Twyla came in. So thank you, Twyla.
Okay, I got my number, but please put your
Yes,
numbers.
type your number in the chat. Type your number in the chat. 1 to 88.
Okay, we don't, um, you know, not all of them put their numbers in. So if there's someone who cannot put their number in or, can't write it in the chat, you can unmute and give me your number if you want. Okay. Some of them may be too shy to write their numbers down, but this is really a gift from heaven, right? So,
Yes.
yes, so we graciously accept. So, Evelyn, do
Um,
you
80.
80? Okay. Anybody else would like to give me their number before I call out the number? Okay, let me see in the chat. Um, what numbers do we see? We have here 233, 81, 19, 17, and okay. So the closest number is Akara. I pulled the number 7. I was guided to pull that number. Isn't that wonderful? Okay,
Thank you, Heaven.
yes. So Gina will offer
Okay, wonderful. So I'm just gonna put my camera on dot I. Okay, so we're gonna ask for a blessing for Akara, and heaven chooses so wisely because those of us who know Akara know that she deserves this for many reasons. Okay, so I'm so excited and so happy. So I will say, dear the Tao Source Field, greatest love, please create for Akara a ball of golden light and golden liquid spring for her request. Greatest love, golden light ball, and golden liquid spring for beloved Akara for her request. Thank you, the Tao Source Fields, greatest love saints. Thank you, all the saints and all the heavens teams who are putting knowledge, information, matter. I see heaven's herbs going into this light ball. I see heaven's colors going into this light ball for beloved Akara. This is a huge light ball. Thank you, heaven. Thank you, beloved source. All the greatest love beings. Greatest love. Golden light ball. Okay, prepare. Greatest love, golden light ball, golden liquid spring for Akara for her request. Transmission. Hey, hey, yo. Tao order, join us one. Transmission. Hey, yo. Okay, sorry if the sound cut out at all. I know sometimes with the Zoom, if I'm like shouting, it's like just doesn't, you don't hear anything. But anyway, thank you so much. So let us chat for Akara for a minute. I'm sorry, we might just go over a little minute into the soul marketing call. I'm so sorry, but this is so exciting. So let us just visualize sending love to Akara. If you don't know who she is, that's okay. Just imagine love going out in the universe and reaching this beautiful woman's heart and soul. And we'll just send her love from our hearts. And dear soul, mind, and body of Akara's treasure, greatest love, golden light ball, golden liquid spring for her request, please turn on. Please bless her request. Greatest love, golden light ball. Bless Akara's request. Thank you. Greatest love, golden light ball. Bless Akara's request. Thank you. One more time. Greatest love, golden light ball. Bless Akara's request. Thank you. Okay, great. So I'm sorry I had to just throw that in at the last minute, but when I saw there was the 18th person, I'm like, I have to do it now. That's Heaven's message. So thank you, Akara. Would you like to say anything, Akara, or does anyone have any? Oh, there we go. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Gina and Annette and Lori and Chame, and everyone on the line. I really well received that blessing. I'm a little speechless because I'm extremely exhausted and also processing the amount of love and light that just came through, which was really just extremely beneficial. So that's probably all I'll say, but thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Yes. And it's so interesting because Akara is my dear friend. And we met because she was coming to Oahu for a conference where Master Sha was here. And she had been asking around some of her friends if anybody knew of like a place where she could stay. And it so happened that my neighbor at my office was her friend. So her friend came to me and said, hey, aren't you going to that Master Shot thing? And I said, yes. She said, oh, my friend is coming from, I don't know if you were in Maui or Kauai, but she needs a place to stay. Could she stay with you? And I'm like, absolutely. I have a spare bedroom. So that's how I met Akara. She came to be my house guest, and we've been like great friends ever since. And she's going through like an amazing moment in life where this treasure could really help a lot. So thank you, Heaven. Thank you, Heaven. Thank you, Heaven. And thank you, everyone, so much for being here with us tonight. And thank you, everyone watching in the future. Did you want to read any of the comments, Annette, or do you have announcements for your upcoming events? Oh, you may be muted, Auntie.
Okay, here we go. Mercedes said that I have been working on to be grounded and awareness on my environment and the people around me. It's not always smooth sailing, but trying hard would help.
We
And
love you, Mercedes. Thank you so much. We
Mrs. Hooray was very happy for a card. It says, hooray, congratulations. And we also have Brittany put up the link for the Tao Calligraphy Field membership. You know, March is coming on soon. And so this is the registration link. If you wish to, experience the field, this is a membership. And also there's an open spiritual channel from Dr. and Master Shah's global event. So the links are here. I don't know what other link there is. Oh, and there is my monthly wellness workshop that will be coming on Monday and Tuesday of this month. So you
And
can
then
copy
I
and paste.
think Lori will put the links in the description for if the video is being posted. Right?
Oh, okay. So I didn't see that, but the
Oh,
videos are being posted. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gina. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you, Dr. Gina, for being our presenter for today. We are so very blessed to have you. I know you're very busy driving. As you said, you have to drive all the way to where you live. Where do you live? Why not?
yes, Makaha.
Makaha area. Oh, wow. So thank you. And from your working place in Honolulu. So we thank you very much from our hearts and souls. And I know everyone here are very grateful for you to be here with us. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your love and your experiences with us. So aloha, everyone, and mahalo. Bye.
Hi, aloha.
Aloha.
Bye. Thank you.